With the Avengers Endgame Final Battle SH Figuarts all but announced for the time being, it's time for Tamashii Nations Bandai to be moving on to their next phase of their Marvel characters. Here it is, the SH Figuarts Black Widow from the motion picture Black Widow, which will be released in the cinemas in November, so it's going to be a bit of a delay. That is why we're getting the action figure first. I don't know if that's a decision that some of you will be thinking about. Maybe you want to watch the film first, see how well it does, then pick up the action figures. So this is going to be the fourth time we see a Natasha Romanoff Bandai SH Figuarts, following the Age of Ultron, Infinity War and Endgame versions. Now before I begin unboxing, I just want to say that the packaging is very important to me, just to make the figure more premium, and it kind of makes the whole figure a lot more interesting and exciting as well. And I don't think I've ever seen two characters at the front, or at least two pictures of the same character. So we're going to get a picture of the figure as well as the real digital print of Scarlett Johansson, which is absolutely amazing, and it already makes this figure a lot better. And you can see that the cutout as well is the logo of the Black Widow sign, which is pretty cool. So hopefully in the future all their figures will be made like this. If you take a look on the side, it's the usual things with the names and titles. Same at the bottom and at the top as well. And then at the back we have the figure in different poses. So I think it's time to unbox the figure. So of course after the Final Battle Endgame versions, they are announcing the likes of Cap vs. Cap, Loki and the Tony Stark figures. And we're going to get a very nice red background, which is very matching to the Black Widow theme. And it's not a shiny one this time. It's more of a matte finish, which I actually quite like as well. And then inside I'm sure we'll get the usual manuals and surveys just to show you how to put on the accessories. So here is the full look of the Black Widow figure inside its packaging. As you can see, there are plenty of accessories included. So for the accessories, this is actually quite similar to the Endgame version, where we have the pockets, the pistols and the batons. But of course the extra weapon this time is the dagger. We get 5 sets of alternative hands for the running and landing pose, holding onto the weapons. And quite unique to Black Widow is the one with the taser effects. And I hope this fits onto her previous figures as well. So now let's take a closer and more detailed look at the Black Widow action figure. Now before I begin, I just want to mention the Solo movie. I'm actually very excited to finally see a Black Widow film, because it's a character that we've always been interested in, as they didn't really reveal too much of her past or background. And after watching the trailers, it looks amazing, so hopefully the movie will be just the same. And then of course I'll probably like this figure even more. Now I must admit, when I first saw the promo photos, I thought this figure was quite similar to the Endgame version in terms of the look, the accessories. But I know that she has a different hairstyle, and the costume is obviously a brand new look. And even if you take a look at the batons, I think the detail in there is different as well. Now in terms of the face sculpt, I think it's quite similar. It might even be the same as the Endgame mold, but we're going to have to put them side by side to really know. But in terms of the costume, I do like it. I think this is a very vibrant, a matte finish. I just like the overall design of it, with this band, the red, and of course the iconic gold on her arms and the belt, because that is obviously a reference to her comic look. So of course that looks fantastic. Now in terms of the weapons, she already has the batons and the guns on the pockets, which I believe is the same as the Endgame one, so we can actually pop them out if we want to. But before I switch up the accessories, we're going to of course first test out the articulation, which normally SH Figuarts are pretty good with it anyways. So now we can test out the articulation, which is going to be pretty standard for any SH Figuarts. But for this Black Widow, it's going to be some differences, because first of all there's these 2 batons attached to the back, so she's not going to be able to do the 360 spin first, especially when she has a long ponytail. So before I begin, I'm just going to remove them. And of course this is also for the poses when she's holding onto the batons. She's not going to have them attached to the back. So now that we removed the batons, I can now test out the head sculpt. So it does actually do a full 360 spin, but you're going to have to overlap the ponytail over her shoulder. But otherwise she has her standard movements left and right, and then it also can be tilted left and right, and then downwards this much, upwards not so much, only slightly, because there is a armor piece here which is actually quite thick. And then for the arms, it's going to go sideways. You can rotate the other way to go upwards, and of course forwards and backwards, and then it can be rotated forwards to show off the biceps, as well as the other way. For the arms, they bend back this much, standard. And then for the hands, okay, it's going to be a 360 spin, and of course it has that pivot to go in and outwards. And now for the body, so the top half, slight side to side movement, but it does seem quite stiff to me. And then it can bend backwards. Now I know Black Widow is meant to be quite flexible. And then the bottom half, side to side, and of course it can be tilted side to side as well. And then backwards, not much gap, which is quite good. Forwards this much. And then you can see there's no movement on the belt, it is slightly slanted. And then the legs kick forwards, backwards this much, so there's not much there. And then side to side, just like this, and then rotation. So for the knees, they bend quite far back. And then for the boots, they go upwards, downwards. The actual toes go upwards as well. And then it has a pivot, which is side to side. So nothing new really on the actual articulation. Maybe the body is a little bit stiff, but you don't get too many problems with this figure in terms of the articulation. So now we can switch up the accessories. For the first set of alternative hands, it is a more natural and relaxed pose, where you can also use it for a more iconic look where she's about to grab onto the batons. We have the hands to hold onto the pistols. We have the alternative hands to hold onto the batons, which can also be used to hold onto the dagger. And the last set of alternative hands is the taser ones with the effects. So that was a look at the Black Widow SH Figuarts for her solo movie. To me, I don't have too many complaints. I think it's sort of an upgrade version of the Endgame one, which I like already. But from the box to the suit, the head sculpt and the variety of accessories, I think it makes this one a better figure. You can really mix and match them for multiple poses, and it's really hard to choose your favorite pose. And in terms of which version is better, this one or the Endgame, I'm probably gonna have to do a full comparison. I guess it really depends on which look you prefer, but with the extra dagger and the tasers, I'll probably give it the solo movie the edge. Now in terms of the improvements, I would have probably added a alternative head sculpt, like one in a fighting mode, or even one with her hair down. But overall, I think it's a great figure, and I will most likely appreciate it more after watching the movie. So I'm gonna give this figure a 8 out of 10. So what's your take on this figure? How does it compare to the previous Black Widow SH Figuarts or Marvel Legends? So let me know in the comments below what's your favorite Black Widow figure ever, and please like, share and subscribe for more reviews and news and hunts. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.